would show up as a tourist and then defect.
Oswald went over to Russia with the idea that they'd be enormously excited by his arrival. He may have known that no Marine had ever defected before. He thought he would be an international figure, and that the Russians would take him most seriously, use him for propaganda, and he'd become a large figure in Russian life.
Once in Moscow, Lee and his Russian guide went on a sightseeing tour. Later that day, he told the guide he wanted to apply for Soviet citizenship. But the Soviet authorities showed no special interest, since Oswald was not a high-level defector who could reveal American secrets.
When I talked to Yuri Nosenko, who was the Russian intelligence officer who handled Oswald's file, he said directly, "No, I'll tell you what we were interested in. Did he know military intelligence? If he had been a Marine guard at the U.S. Embassy, then our antennas would have gone up. We would have been very interested because he could get information for us. But what did he have to offer? Not everybody who came across the transom had intelligence value."
Oswald spent his 20th birthday, October 18, 1959, visiting Lenin's tomb and waiting for a final word from the Soviet government. In typical bureaucratic fashion, the authorities stalled.
The idea that anything could happen quickly was alien to the very process of Soviet life. So when this fellow came over, the first attitude was, he must be a spy. Then the KGB began to say, but he is so unlikely. He doesn't fit the pattern. And then they thought, well, maybe the CIA is doing something new. Maybe they're sending over an oddball to see how we react.
Finally, the Soviets made a decision. On October 21st, the day before Lee's visa was to expire, Soviet officials informed Oswald that his request for citizenship had been denied. He would have to leave Moscow within 2 hours. In a diary, Lee wrote, "My fondest dreams are shattered." Back in his hotel room, Lee took a knife and slit his left wrist. His tour guide discovered him there, unconscious, and rushed him to the hospital where he was stabilized. The following week, Lee was released and placed in a hotel while the Soviets decided what to do next. But Lee, determined to stay in Russia, had his own plan. On October 31st, he showed up at the U.S. Embassy.
He told me, in effect, that he came there to give up his American citizenship. And, will I please get on with it quickly, that he didn't want any lectures from me, and he didn't want to enter into any discussions with me. He said to me, "I intend to make available to the Soviet authorities everything I've learned about the Marine Corps and as a radar operator."
But diplomat Richard Snyder told Oswald the embassy was now closed for the day, and he would have to come back. Lee stormed out, proud that he had shown great bravery in standing up to American officials. Now the Russians were even more confused about how to handle this odd American.